He once said that some people never really leave you. They just fade into the cracks of your mind, like smoke or guilt. That's how Rian remembered Damar. Not as a person, but as a shadow that still breathed inside him. Rain was falling hard that night, tapping against the window of Rian's apartment. The city outside was glowing, neon lights flickering through the wet glass, motorcycles slicing through puddles, the kind of night that felt like it remembered things you tried to forget. It had been 7 years since that night. 7 years since the alley, the sirens, and the sound of someone yelling his name, a sound that still echoed in his dreams. Rian never went back there. He built a different life instead. Late-night gigs, half-written songs, the taste of cheap whiskey, and 1,000 unfinished apologies. Music became the only place he could hide. And then he wrote that song. He called it PARAMANIA. No one really understood the meaning behind the word, but it came from paranoia and mania, a mix of obsession and fear. The lyrics were raw, almost confessional. It was about a friendship that went wrong, about someone who took the fall while the other ran free. When the song went viral, people said it was honest, brutal, beautiful. They didn't know it was real. But Damar did. Damar had been released 2 months earlier. He had listened to the song from a small radio in a rented room above a mechanic shop. The first verse hit him like a bullet, the words too precise, too familiar. It wasn't just about guilt. It was about that night. Rian didn't know that Damar had been following him ever since, staying in the back of clubs, watching him perform under dim lights. Damar never clapped, never smiled, just stood there, silent, like a ghost that refused to leave. And Rian could feel him. He could sense that weight in the room every time he sang that song. He started seeing Damar's face in the crowd, sometimes real, sometimes imagined. But he never dared to stop singing. It was his only way of saying, "I'm sorry," without saying anything at all. They met again by accident, or maybe fate. A street corner near the old train station, years after everything had fallen apart. The rain was still there, same as always. Rian looked thinner, older. Damar looked the same, but quieter, the kind of quiet that comes after too many years of thinking. No one said a word. They just stood there, with the city roaring around them. And in that silence, something inside Rian broke, not loudly, but gently, like a string finally snapping after being pulled too tight for too long. He wanted to say thank you for taking the blame. He wanted to say I'm sorry for not coming back. He wanted to say I never stopped thinking about you. But he didn't say any of it. Because Damar's eyes said everything. You don't get to say sorry now. The traffic light turned green. And just like that, Damar walked away. After that night, Rian stopped performing PARAMANIA for a while. He played other songs, ones about love and rain and cities that never sleep. But no matter what he wrote, that one song always pulled him back. Because guilt has rhythm. It plays on repeat, until you either learn to live with it or let it consume you. So one night, Rian went back to the same club where it all started. Small stage. Red lights. Cigarette smoke floating like ghosts above the crowd. He took the microphone and whispered, "This song's for someone who taught me what loyalty costs." Then he played PARAMANIA, slower this time, softer, like a confession whispered to no one in particular. Halfway through, he saw someone near the bar. A familiar silhouette, standing in the dark. Damar. Rian didn't stop. He sang every word like it was the last breath he had left. And when the last chord faded, he looked up, but Damar was gone. Maybe he had never been there. Maybe he was just the echo of everything Rian wished he could fix. Months later, the song reached 1 million streams. People called it a song about forgiveness. But Rian knew it wasn't about that. It was about learning to live with what forgiveness can't reach. Some nights, he still dreams of that alley, of rain hitting asphalt, of running, of sirens, of silence. And in those dreams, Damar is always there. Not angry, not vengeful, just waiting. Rian wakes up before dawn, lights a cigarette, and stares out at the city. The skyline glows, the streets hum quietly, and he whispers to himself, "Farewell, my sweet PARAMANIA." And maybe, for the first time in years, He finally breathes.